game. 8 seconds to go in regulation.
In my mind, I was just wanting to wait last second and just jack it.
And this is for the win. Oh, the Nuggets have won. Oh, my goodness.
I was just in the right place at the right time.
And the series is tied at 2.
I'm glad it'll be on Nugget Day and not Clipper Day.
Still stunned over that play, and we got analyst Quinton Richardson and Anscape's David Dennis Jr. here with us. Okay, I got to start with that ending cue. Take us through this. How in the world did that actually work?
I mean, it's what we always say when you're in the locker room. You got to box out, you got to finish the play and get the rebound. And what happened there is that while Joker was going into his trying to win the game, you're going to see right here, you got Harden in a drop position. But Powell was froze. He didn't react. AG went after it, wide open. Harden kind of reacted a little late, but by that time, it was already too late. AG had it, put it in the basket. And this happens actually a lot, Ryan. People just watching the ball and ball watching, and you slip in there and get an easy rebound. I could hear my coach, Stan Van Gundy, screaming and throwing the clipboard down. Box out!
You can hear him right now all the way from here.
Yes.
But we said it. And you look at this, I feel like I've seen Jokic and Gordon do that play a couple times, and I can't believe they weren't watching for it. David, what do you think?
Look, none of this happens without the game that we got from Nikola Jokic up until that fourth quarter. Look, Q, I don't ask for too much, man. I know yesterday I was saying I need Jokic to be out there and be the best player on the court, and he gave us 36, 21, and 8 assists. We're going to say 8.5 assists. We're going to count that last play as a half of assist to Aaron Gordon. I'm going to give him that. And 2 steals. And that really came in that third quarter when the Nuggets, when Jokic had 16 points and the Clippers had 17 total. They ran out of gas in that fourth quarter, which allowed the Clippers to come back. But it was that third quarter that created that buffer, and Jokic just being absolutely unstoppable MVP, best player on the court. None of this happens. We don't get one of those greatest plays we've ever seen in the playoffs with that putback dunk without that cushion that Jokic provided in that third quarter, especially in that game.
They needed every bit of that performance to get to where they were. And Kawhi, by the way, said it plainly. It's now a best of 3. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Indeed. So, staying out west, Steph Curry carries the Warriors to a win without Jimmy Butler. Of course, Q, what was catching your attention after that performance?
It was like we talked about yesterday. We knew that Houston was going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at Steph. But Steph, being the chef and one of the greatest ever, he showed up in big-time fashion. You saw what Jimmy Butler said. He said, "Thank you, Batman." Batman showed up and saved the day. Big-time 36. This was... Listen, they guarded him. Some of these possessions were some of the best defense you may ever see on Steph Curry. Amen Thompson was all over him. They sent several guys. They jumped him. They blitzed him. They were physical. They did everything, and Steph still responded at every turn.
Yeah, this was one of Steph Curry's best playoff performances, really. If you look at the level of defense played against him, not having a second option, the fact that, look at the guys who was around him and the way that he basically had that offense on a string, confounding that Houston Rockets defense, confusing them and torturing them. But also, we can't neglect the fact that on the other side of the ball, Draymond Green also put together one of his best playoff performances. There is a huge difference between Defensive Player of the Year and the best defensive player in the world, and that is Draymond Green. He was able to anchor that small lineup in the last 4 minutes against a large Rockets team, and they were a plus 100 net rating in that last 4 minutes, with Draymond being essentially the only big player there. He was boxing out, he was rebounding, he was getting steals, he was blocking anything that the Rockets tried to do. This was a textbook Draymond Green performance. And also shout out to GP2, who was setting those screens for Steph and had wide open lanes and executed in that fourth quarter. The 22 championship Warriors team really showed up last night.
Yeah, you saw it clearly. Gary Payton Jr. with those 16 points, huge as well. Game 4. It's in San Francisco on Monday. Warriors up 2-1. We'll see where this goes, guys. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Slate on Sunday at 1 Eastern on ABC. The Knicks will look to go up 3-1 over the Pistons in Motown. Jalen Brunson has scored at least 30 points in all 3 games for New York, while Detroit has lost its last 8 home playoff games. At 3:30 Eastern on ABC, the Lakers look to even their first-round series with the Timberwolves. The Lakers have not won a series in which they were down 2-1 after 3 games since 2004, the Western Conference semis against San Antonio. At 7 Eastern, the Celtics look to bounce back from their Game 3 loss against the Magic in Orlando. The Celtics will be without Jrue Holiday for a second straight game. He has a right hamstring strain. And at 9:30 Eastern, the Pacers visit the Bucks in Game 4. The Greek Freak is averaging close to 36 points and 14 rebounds a game in this series. Malika Andrews and the Countdown crew now on this Sunday marquee matchup.
Well, we know that Stephen A. is ready for the Knicks and the Pistons a little bit later, but the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers here, it feels like L.A., they had that last game in their grasp here, Stephen A., but it was the closing of Anthony Edwards. They were able to pull it out. What does L.A. need to do to bounce back?
Well, they need to neutralize Anthony Edwards. Good luck with that because, again, his star ascends as the lights get brighter. LeBron James is having an outstanding game, and Ant-Man says, hold on a second.
Right.
It ain't that ain't going to get you the victory. And Luka Doncic, I thought, played his worst game against Minnesota that we've seen him play in the last couple of years against those guys. But in the end, Jaden McDaniels, let's not forget him. He had 30. Let's not forget the contribution that Julius Randle has been making. Let's not forget the size and the physicality that Minnesota has been playing with to let the Lakers know what you do with everybody else, you ain't going to be able to do so easily against us. So that combined with Ant-Man doing what he does, I mean, the Lakers have to win this game.
Yeah.
They're going to have to match their intensity, their physicality, and one star on the Lakers is going to have to be bigger than Ant-Man when it counts.
Right, and for Luka Doncic, certainly you're right. It was one of his poorer performances here. We know he was battling through that stomach virus. Hopefully he's gotten past that and is able to have a little bit of a better output here.
I believe he will, but it needs to come from J.J. Redick, right? What adjustments he's going to make lineup-wise, because Stephen A. just talked about it, you know, Julius Randle, Naz Reid, Rudy, you know, punishing them in the paint. Jay McDaniels, do you add some minutes in there for Jackson Hayes, right? Like, how much is LeBron James going to be able to give you, Malika, when you think about it, especially the performance he had in Game 3?
How do you follow that up? You already are setting a record for a 40-year-old in a postseason.
Well, I mean, it's hard, but think about what he's having to do so much defensively. Like, you're in the trenches, right? You're in the trenches. You're guarding Julius Randle, who is a physical player. So, again, I think it's some minutes there for Jackson Hayes. You got to go big at some point against this Timberwolves team.
The Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James being about 250, 260, depending on which day of the week it is accustomed to playing bully ball at his discretion when he wants to. Not so easy against Minnesota. Julius Randle likes to bang. Rudy Gobert, physically speaking, he's not weak. And so you look, and McDaniels, as slim as he is, he can get up in there too. And Ant-Man is Ant-Man. It's not easy.
We've talked about this as having the potential to be a long series, but in order for that to happen, the Los Angeles Lakers, they need to get this one. We'll be with you at 12:30 Eastern on ABC for NBA Countdown.
All right, thanks, guys. Luka Doncic and LeBron James have traditionally done well when their teams have been behind in playoff series. In his postseason career, Doncic is second in points per game when trailing in a playoff series in NBA history, behind only Michael Jordan, while James is fifth on that list. Had a full slate of NBA playoff games on this Sunday fun day. Knicks, Pistons, Lakers taking on the Timberwolves, Celtics, Magic, Pacers, Bucks also, and it all gets started at 1 p.m. Eastern on ABC. We've got our NBA analysts Quinton Richardson and David Dennis Jr. back here with us. And when this Knicks-Pistons series started, it was giving me all the 90s vibes because I knew it was going to be crazy between these two teams. But Q, why is the physicality in that series making you smile?
Exactly what you said. It brings me back to the 90s. I mean, obviously they don't have a Lane Beer or a Charles Oakley going on in there, but this is pretty much as physical as it gets in this era of basketball. And I'm here for it. I love it. I want to see the back and forth. I want to see the competitiveness, a little chippy. You know, nobody's going over the line, but like this is the competitive basketball that the NBA alumni love to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, give me my Discman, give me my FUBU. I feel like I'm in the 90s watching 90s playoff basketball here. And, you know, everybody. Yeah, you were watching. Everybody all wearing FUBU back in the day watching these games. Come on now. Like, this is the thing that I love about what I'm seeing here is that this feels like physical Knicks basketball. And if they want to go against the Celtics or the Cavs, they're going to need this physicality, especially somebody like Karl Anthony Towns. And the Knicks wins. He's at 27-9, and he is playing bully ball down in the paint. Overall, across the league, in the playoffs, the defense physicality is on another level. Look at the Rockets and Warriors struggling to get to 100 points. Look at what the Celtics and the Magic are doing. I don't want to hear anything about softness or lack of physicality in the NBA because it is here in playoff basketball.
Yeah, I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn, so I got to wear my Timbs whenever I watch this series between the Knicks and the Pistons because that's how physical it is. You got to get real gritty in this series. All right, after that on ABC, it's Lakers, Timberwolves. So Q, who is your biggest catalyst or factor for the rest of that series? Is it going to be LeBron, Ant-Man, or Luka?
For me, it's Ant-Man. Ant-Man has been the guy. He's been the guy leading the way for Minnesota. He's risen to the occasion. He's answered every call, and he's a driving force for them, man. I mean, you look at the way the series has went. He's been the standout star. I mean, Luka's taking a turn, LeBron's taking a turn, but Ant-Man has been the one constant. He's the driving force for them, and he must do this. If they're going to have an opportunity or be in the game, he has to go out there and put up big numbers every single night and hope he gets support from the supporting cast.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is Anthony Edwards, top to bottom. This Wolves team has struggled in the clutch. They were bottom 10 offense and defense in the clutch. 26 or so clutch losses this season. But as Anthony Edwards, what we saw in Game 3, who pulled together, making every right play and was the best clutch player sharing the court with Luka Doncic and LeBron James, that is the type of Anthony Edwards that we need. And he is in prime position right now today to play against this Lakers team and go up 3-1 with the probably tired LeBron, with the Luka who is recovering from that stomach virus. This is Anthony Edwards' best shot at really going as far as he can to close the door on this series, and that a lot of that's going to probably happen in the clutch.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards locked in on this series and also locked in on taking down LeBron James as well. So we're scanning the NBA. We found a QR code in the Magic Celtics series. So Q, what's the code that Orlando must live by to tie this series up?
It's what Orlando is all about. The Magic and Coach Mosley, he's built them, and their identity is defense. They got to have scrappy, disruptive defense to have a chance in this series. Obviously, they need their stars, Paolo and Franz, to be big, but defensively is where they hang their hat, and defensively is how they can beat this Celtics team. They've disrupted them from shooting threes better than anybody else in the league this year, and that's what they have to do this series. They have the length, they have the size, they have the different versatile defenders that could play all of the different players that Boston has and give them problems.
Yeah, what do you know? I got the same QR code on my phone, too. It is about the Orlando Magic defense, especially their ability to run the Boston Celtics off that three-point line. They held them to just 27 three-point shot attempts in that last game, and that is really the Magic calling card, is they're forcing you into the paint, and they're giving you a lot of that, what we discussed earlier, that physicality that's really ruffling Boston's feathers. You can hear what Jaylen Brown's saying after the game. It's really starting to annoy them and irritate them, and that Orlando defense is really going to cause trouble for that Boston Celtics. I don't know if they have enough offensive firepower, but at least Boston's going to field them defensively through the rest of the series.
Look, I spent enough time in Boston covering the Celtics to know that this Orlando Magic team, they got all the smoke for the Celtics, so do not be surprised when you see them playing them down to the wire. ESPN projections gives Boston a 64% chance to win today. Guys, thanks so much for the insight.
Xin chào mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Tiêu đề hôm nay mình có là
đúng rồi, nó về tận trường nó bắt xe
cây cài kèo.
Về tận trường nó bắt xe của em đó, của em đó. Bắt xe đó đấy, có thằng lười nhảy này thì nó rộng lên mà
mày quá mình nghĩ là
anh Thành đây rồi, anh Thành nó
bảo đi
nhắn đi về đội mũ hả thôi, đi nhìn đường này thấy
thằng đấy bây giờ nó cởi mũ ra khỏi đầu nó rồi, vật bất ly thân.
À không đi xe có phân khối kia, đấy là mình lại xe điện tức là nó đỏ.
Nói chung là nó thích bắt
là mấy con xe nhà anh Đạo à,
cái xe của anh Bảo bắt